phone buzzed, a tremor beneath the crisp white tablecloth. Across from him, Claire's smile didn't falter.
Just work.
She murmured, not meeting his eyes. He knew that smile, the one she wore when placating a client, soothing away their concerns. But tonight it felt different, strained, as if the mask might crack. He watched her type, her fingers a blur against the screen. A flicker of unease danced in his gut. They used to share everything. Now secrets simmered beneath the surface of their marriage like a pot threatening to boil over. "Husband, everything all right?" he asked, his voice betraying nothing of his growing suspicion. Claire glanced up, her eyes a touch too wide.
Perfect.
She breathed, slipping the phone back into her purse. But the air, once light, now felt thick with unspoken words. The hotel room felt sterile, empty. He was a ghost haunting his own life. He dialed Claire, craving the sound of her voice, something to chase away the loneliness that clung to him like a shroud.
Hey, you.
She answered, her voice breathless, distracted. He pictured her in their bedroom, surrounded by the remnants of her day-discarded clothes, a half-read book. But the image felt wrong somehow, the edges blurring. "Husband, where are you?" he asked, the question slipping out before he could stop it. A beat of silence, then...
At home, silly. Where else would I be?
Her laughter was too high, too bright, fake. He ended the call, the seed of doubt blooming into a monstrous thing within his chest. He knew. He didn't want to, but he knew. Their calls, once filled with laughter and shared secrets, now echoed with the emptiness growing between them. It was a Wednesday, or maybe a Thursday. Time blurred together in a haze of grief and anger. He found himself drawn to her side of the closet, the scent of her perfume a phantom limb, both familiar and achingly absent. He pushed aside the soft cashmere sweaters, her favorite silk blouses, and then he saw it, tucked in the back corner, hidden beneath a pile of scarves, a man's leather glove, sleek, expensive, definitely not his. He stood there, the glove feeling like a physical manifestation of his betrayal. The air thickened, suffocating him. Memories once cherished now felt like weapons, each shared laugh, each whispered promise, twisting the knife deeper. She stood at the intersection, the city humming around her. Go left, back to him, back to the life they built, a life that felt increasingly like a gilded cage. Go right, towards the unknown, towards him, towards the exhilarating, terrifying rush of desire. The scent of his cologne lingered in her nostrils, a dangerous, intoxicating aroma. She closed her eyes, his name a silent prayer on her lips. Guilt gnawed at her, sharp and unrelenting. But beneath it all, a flicker of defiance burned. She was tired of being the perfect wife, the dutiful daughter-in-law. She craved passion, excitement, a life less ordinary. But at what cost? The image of her husband's face, etched with hurt and confusion, rose before her. Her heart ached, torn between two opposing forces. "Do you remember our vows?" he had asked, his voice ragged. They stood in their bedroom. The space that had once been their sanctuary now felt like a battlefield. The air crackled with unspoken accusations.
She had turned away, unable to meet his gaze. The memory of their wedding day, filled with sunlight and the promise of forever, mocked her. "Till death do us part," she had whispered, her voice choked with emotion. Back then, it had felt like a sacred pact, unbreakable. Now the words tasted like ash in her mouth.
He had reached for her, his touch tentative, as if she were a fragile thing, easily broken. She flinched, the movement instinctive, visceral. The look on his face, a mixture of pain and disbelief, was almost her undoing. Almost. He found it tucked beneath her jewelry box, a tangible piece of evidence in a sea of doubt and suspicion. The handwriting was unfamiliar, yet the words sent a chill down his spine. Our spot. The words were like acid burning into his soul. He reread the note, each time feeling a fresh wave of nausea wash over him. The betrayal cut deep, severing something vital within him. He thought of their laughter, their shared dreams, their whispered promises. Had it all been a lie? The note trembled in his hand, a physical manifestation of the storm raging within him. He wanted to scream, to rage, to demand answers, but a part of him, a small wounded part, already knew the truth. She walked into the sterile office, the air thick with tension. He sat across from her, his face a mask of carefully controlled anger. A chasm had opened up between them, a chasm filled with secrets and lies.
The mediator, a woman with kind eyes and a soothing voice, spoke of reconciliation, of rebuilding trust. But her words felt empty, meaningless in the face of their shattered foundation.
She glanced at him, searching for a flicker of the love they once shared, a glimmer of hope in the wreckage of their marriage. But his eyes, once filled with warmth and adoration, were cold, shuttered. The weight of his judgment pressed down on her, suffocating her. He wanted to hate her. He thought he should. But beneath the anger, the hurt, a flicker of love remained, a stubborn ember refusing to be extinguished. He remembered the way she smiled, the way her laughter could fill a room, the way she made him feel like he could conquer the world. But the image of the note, the unfamiliar scent of another man clinging to her skin, rose before him, a cruel reminder of her betrayal. He thought of the future they had planned, the future that now felt like a faded tapestry, its colors muted, its threads unraveling. He looked at her across the table, her face pale, her eyes filled with a mixture of guilt and defiance. He knew in that moment that their story wasn't over, but the ending, once so clear, was now shrouded in uncertainty. The mediator spoke, her voice a calming presence in the storm of their emotions, but her words washed over him, meaningless, unheard. He was lost in a labyrinth of his own making, the walls closing in. He glanced at Claire. Her face was a mask, carefully composed, but he saw the tremor in her hands, the flicker of vulnerability in her eyes. Was it regret he saw, or fear? The weight of their unspoken words pressed down on them, heavy and suffocating. He wanted to reach for her, to pull her close and demand the truth. But he hesitated, his hand hovering in the space between them, a physical representation of the chasm that had opened up in their lives. Would they find their way back to each other? Or were they destined to remain forever adrift, two souls lost in the wreckage of their love? The answer for now remained suspended, a fragile question mark hanging in the air between them.